Yo, what's up, guys? What's up, Corey on YouTube? What's up, Joseph? What's up, Backdraft? What's up, guys on Instagram? Hey, I'm back, everybody. I'm back walking. I can now run again. Harriet Tubman is back. I can run. We're back at it. I'm blessed, very blessed to be here. Very blessed to be walking again. Have a complete recovery. And the dogs are still a little bit white, if you can see. Let me show you guys on YouTube. Dogs are a little bit white, but you know, ain't nothing wrong with a little white privilege, right? Hey, I'm grateful to be back, seriously. Seriously. So, I'll tell you, the machine, it actually didn't get damaged that much. But how do I know I'm back though? Let's see. Oh, that's right. He still got it. Hey, listen, the machine didn't get damaged that much. Let me show you guys something, so you can understand the type of fire I was in. Because the camera was so close, you couldn't really see like how big the fire was. You see this tree behind me? The distiller was at this tree, okay? Now look at the tree, it's burnt. You see it, you see up there where the brown ends. I'm gonna go walk over to the tree so you can see how tall the flame was, okay? Let me show you. So the flame ended up getting this high. It was a 10-foot flame. It was a drake of a flame. The only person that could have put that flame out for me would have been Kendrick Lamar himself. And he wasn't here for me. So, unfortunately, I had to run out of there myself before my ankles gave out. But yeah, I'm back walking, guys. It was about a 2.5-week recovery. I'm back to it. Thank you for the Django Geek for the $2 super chat on YouTube. Thank you very much, man. Yeah, it was a fireball. It was like I was Goku or something, come running out of that fireball. You know, I kind of wish I had a camera set up further back to just see how big it was, right? But, you know, from what I said, my family said that they saw it. It looked like a little nuke, like a little mushroom cloud. Like, it was crazy. So, like I said, I'm blessed to still be here. You know what's funny? Okay, let me tell you guys something. Because look at me. I'm black as hell. Dark as hell, right? And I always said to people, I'm dark. I can't be burnt. You can't burn charcoal. Let me tell you guys a very interesting thing I experienced, and most people may not experience. One, being this black, and two, getting burnt and realizing that when you're this black and you get burnt, you don't turn blacker, you get whiter. Like, who would have expected that I would get lighter after being burned, right? You would think you'd get darker, right? But like, let's look at this, legit. I legit got whiter. Who would have known? Being burnt is a privilege. I could have never guessed that in a million years. But here we are. He said, did you burn off your BBC? You know, I was fortunate that I didn't have any issues. Hey guys, this is another reason I gotta stay grateful. All right, and thank God, because all 3 of my balls are still there, untouched, unburned, completely smooth and polished as always. All 3 of my balls are still in healthy shape. So I didn't have to worry about any of that. No worries. You all can still get it. You all can still get them in your mouth if you don't answer my questions properly as we educate. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have our quizzes again. We're going to have our quizzes. So if I ask you a question and you don't get them right about microwave pyrolysis, then yeah, you're gonna get all 3 of these healthy, unburnt balls in your mouth. See, imagine that. Imagine if I did get burned. 2 black balls, 1 white ball. I could have Oreo balls. That would be cool, right? I'm sure you would eat them then without any struggle. Anyways, let's think about it, okay? You guys saw that video, the P.O. Box video, where my boy Frank donated that humongous magnetron. I actually don't have it with me right now. I need to get it. But I'll probably get that next live stream to compare it. But anyway, you see this machine here? There's a long machine, 10 foot long, all right? Drake of a machine, right? 10 foot long machine. We have 6 magnetrons on it. Now, what is a magnetron? A magnetron is what creates the microwaves. So every microwave oven has at least 1 magnetron on it. This machine, being a humongous microwave, has 6. So this machine here is the equivalent of turning on 6 microwave ovens at once, right? Now, Frank gave me a magnetron that is 6 kilowatts. What does that mean? That means that that individual magnetron that Frank gave me, that one magnetron, has the power of all of this machine in one. That's absolutely crazy. That magnetron is expensive, all right? I don't know how he did it, where he got it from. But that thing, when I hook it up to whatever, Mark 5 or something, this is Mark 4.5, it's going to do some great work, right? So I don't really know, how I'm going to power that thing. But shout out to Frank. Much love to Frank. So, going off of that point, guess what, guys? It's quiz time. You didn't think I'd give you a quiz that early. What does a magnetron do, guys? You tell me. Or if you don't answer it properly, given that I just gave you the answer key, you will have 3 of these unburnt balls in your mouth. What does a magnetron do? Because this machine has 6 magnetrons on it. I'll give you a hint. This is a microwave pyrolysis reactor. You should know what a magnetron does. It should be pretty simple to answer the question, right? You said heats the machine. That's too indirect of an answer. What's up, Zai myself? You got to give me a more direct answer. There you go. You guys saying it right on Instagram. You guys on Instagram getting it right. What's up, Zach? Good to see you, man. Oh, you guys got it on YouTube too. Okay, you guys know what's up. So a magnetron produces the microwaves. Correct. Thank you guys for answering. Let me let somebody in here on Instagram. You said it ups electricity. Unfortunately, Roz, on Instagram, you're going to get my balls in your mouth because you're incorrect. Unfortunately, Weedle, you said makes the molecules move. You're going to get my balls in your mouth. Unfortunately, Boss221, you said it excites the water. You're going to get my balls in your mouth because all the magnetron does is produce microwaves, okay? So you guys, you got to pay attention in class, unfortunately, or there will be repercussions, okay? So, hey, but how's everybody been, though, for real? Like, it's been a second. It's been a few weeks. It's going to be a few more weeks, actually, until I really get going again. Because let me tell you guys what the plan is, okay? You say, give me them balls? Okay, listen. This is not a good time. I'm offering to you. This is a punishment. So I don't need you to get weird with it and, like, start, like, fantasizing about this punishment. Because then you're taking away the whole point of it. The whole point is you don't want my balls in your mouth. Because you don't want to get your jaws stretched, right? That's the whole point. So don't come up in here and tell me that you want me to give you these balls in your mouth because you're ruining the whole punishment and you're ruining the incentive to listen to the education. You understand? If you want my balls in your mouth, then you're going to purposely not pay attention so you get them in your mouth. You said, I hope your feet are good, my G. And my feet are great. I wish I had my speaker out here. I'd dance a little bit. But look, guys, I'll show you both of my feet, right? So this foot is the more white foot, right? This foot, I'm gonna name this foot Donald Trump. This foot's more white. I'm gonna name this foot the zebra, because it's like, it's mostly black and white, but it's almost completely black. So I'll name this one white MLK, and this one's Donald Trump. And so anyway, the feet are coming along good. I kind of wish, like, here's the thing. The skin is getting its pigmentation back, right? So it's completely skin. It's no longer like raw. I can take a shower, I can work out, whatever. But it's getting its pigmentation back. And I kind of wish it didn't. Because that's a cool scar. When the skin comes back, it's going to pretty much not even scar. Like, nobody's even going to really know I got burned. Because I'm already so black that you're going to barely be able to tell. Right? You said I almost got turned into Kurt Cobain. And you guys know the story I told you. Before I became like this, I was working on this machine. I looked like Kurt Cobain. I had beautiful blonde hair. I got electrocuted, turned black. My blonde hair turned to locks. Well, I almost got turned back into Kurt Cobain. Who would have known the alchemy? It took getting burnt to turn white. But I kind of wish it would have stayed like this. It looks like I have that. What's that skin disease that, like, gives you, like, the patches? It kind of looks like I have that, right? But I don't. And unfortunately, it's going to heal completely back. So unfortunately, I'm gonna go back to being unprivileged. I'm gonna go back to being guilty. I'm gonna go back to being guilty. I was innocent for a little bit of time in my life. It was a good experience. Okay. Oh, vitiligo. Okay, yeah. It looks like I have that. It looks kind of cool, but it's not gonna last forever, unfortunately. But I gotta thank all you guys, seriously. Thank all you. Much love to all you, all your support. You know, the GoFundMe was crazy, $5,000. It just asked for 500. You know, nothing but gratitude to everybody. Seriously. And yes, guys, I learned my lesson, okay? It's sad, but it's the reality. When I'm running this machine, I'm not gonna be in suits anymore. It's just period. I have to have the right stuff on. It's gonna be hot as hell, but it's way worth it. Going through a burn. For those of you that don't know, I didn't know this, but burns are the worst type of pain there is. The only thing worse than burns is probably being skinned alive. But guess what? When you get burned 2nd degree, you got to be skinned alive. So there you go. Burns are the worst type of pain. Because guess what, guys? Pain medicine does not work for burns, okay? Burns alter your blood plasma wherever you got burned to where pain medicine doesn't work. So burns are the worst type of pain there is. And you don't want to go through it if you don't have to. So I'm not going through it again. I don't know about y'all. But I have two options. Either one, I can put on all the safety equipment, or I could become even blacker to where I'm unburnable. But I think I'm gonna go through with the other, the other option of putting on all the safety equipment. Because if I became any blacker, then I don't know. Like I already can't see myself at nighttime. I don't know what I would do, personally. Like it'd be crazy, right? I'd start to absorb too much light. Let me tell you guys something now. I go into a dark room and I go invisible now. If I became any blacker, I go into a room in the daytime and absorb all the light and make the room darker. See, that's the issue. I can't become any blacker. We can't do that for the safety of all of humanity and everybody that encounters me. So that's not an option anymore. But let me tell you guys something though. So I'm not running this machine here anymore, okay? This goes back to safety. We're talking about safety. I'm wearing the safety equipment because I don't have an option of becoming blacker. But the other option for safety is get out this neighborhood. Of course, this machine now, the machine has always been industrious, a big risk, but this side of the machine now, if this machine were to bust, boom, it would be a crazy accident, right? I'm not gonna put anybody else at risk, so this machine is actually gonna be going into a shipping container, okay? And it's gonna be in an industrial facility. So it's not gonna be on residential property anymore. And it's going in a shipping container, so it'll be mobile. And I could, if I want to do maybe a tour of the U.S. or something, bringing the machine along, I can. It'll be pretty cool. So we're gonna do that with the machine. I'm not running it here anymore. Look, we have the machine and we got the electronic cabinet, and that's really it. Like that's all you need. You only need these two things. The shredder, you can fit that in the shipping container too. And the good thing about it being mobile is if the CIA does come for me, I can just run away. Just put it on a truck and drive away. That's the best part about being mobile, right? Like you can't get me if I'm everywhere at once. I'm gonna be Harriet Tubman running the Underground Railroad with my machine in the back of the truck. Come on now. You said put it in the back of an RV? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We got a lot of different options, but the point is, there's some things that just have to change. I've been wanting to get out of this backyard forever now. We're out. We're done. No more in the backyard. Yep, 20-foot shipping container. I might do 40. I might do a 40-foot depending on, because I gotta put my plastic storage in there, the plastic shredder in there. You said I broke my hand the day you burned your feet, so we recovered together. Oh, that's crazy, Romeo. Hey, that's crazy, man. But hey, look, I'm glad you're doing better. I'm doing better myself too. The recovery of this stuff is crazy. I got to respect for everybody who ever been burned, any burn victim. Because I'm telling you guys, the pain when you get burnt, I'm telling you, it's something else. You said, what's up, Karen? You said just stopping to say hello. Hey, you have a blessed day as well. Thank you very much for the love, Karen, on Instagram. What's up, guys, on YouTube? You said the FBI would just take the container. That makes it easy for them to steal it, too, right? It's possible to make it small enough to put into a car and have it run the car. Okay, so my first reactor was small. The issue is a small reactor does not make enough fuel to run a car. A small reactor is also way less efficient. The bigger the reactor, the more efficient it is. So you're not going to be able to make a good conversion with the small reactor. Maybe the technology will advance enough. Maybe there's another process we could use to make a really small reactor possible to like run a car. But right now, I don't know the numbers on this yet, but it's looking like you got to be at least this big to have a reactor that can make enough fuels to then fuel other things at the same time, right? So what's the cost of this machine? This machine costs about $25K to build, and that's with me using a lot of scrap parts, right? That's with me being very resourceful. But guys, I cannot announce it yet, okay? Well, all you guys in the live stream are going to get the tea first, okay? I have a very exciting funding opportunity coming very soon, this month, in about a week. I can't say what it is yet. I'm not allowed to. But in short, I got some funding on the way, all right? I got some funding. Y'all about to see what it is soon, okay? I got funding on the way. And it's going to take this project to the next level. You guys know I've been very specific about who I take funding from. I've been very specific about not just giving up tons of chunks of equity, but I got some great grants, okay? So when I get back to in the game, we get back to building this, I won't have to budget cut anymore when it comes to making it safe or doing it right, because I got some stuff on the way. We're going to do this right. We're going to get this to Mark 5 industrial level, pilot plant level, okay? We're doing this. I'll try to let you in, Romeo, on Instagram. I ain't let you in. So I love your work. I'm glad to see you doing great again. Thank you, J. King Locks. I just wanted to say I'm glad you're healing. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Charmy. You said selling burn feet pics. Yeah, that's true. I could have a niche on OnlyFans, right? We'll call it Only Feet. I got black and white feet. Come on now. I'm covering two niches at once. I'm covering two categories at once. I'm a one-man interracial. What's up, Yoshi? Much love to you. Can you give me a breakdown on how it works? Yes, I can. Yes, I can give you a breakdown on how it works. All right, so we start by shredding plastic, right? So we shred plastic, and it's fed in within the beginning of the machine, okay? Near the back of the machine. That's where we feed the shredded plastic in. Now, if you go put plastic in your microwave oven, nothing will happen to it, all right? Because plastic does not absorb microwaves, right? We have to mix the plastic that we put in this machine, the shredded plastic, with carbon, okay? Because carbon does absorb microwaves. So we mix the two together, put it in the machine, and there are blades on the inside of the machine that spin the plastic around, move it towards the front of the machine. As it's being moved and agitated, it's also being broken down by the heat of the microwaves, right? So as the plastic is broken down, look at the container, okay? It's completely closed. It's airtight. There's no air getting in or out. So since there's no air getting in or out, what ends up happening is it becomes an anaerobic environment. That means there's no oxygen. Now look, what's up, Brion on YouTube? Now look, here's the thing. If I take a piece of plastic and apply heat to it in the open air, it's gonna catch on fire. If you take anything, including plastic, apply heat to it without air being around, instead of catching on fire, it's going to pyrolyze or pyrolyze. And what does that mean? That means instead of catching on fire, having a flame burning, making smoke, it breaks down to its basic chemical constituents. It breaks down on a chemical level and returns to smaller molecules. So plastic is essentially the solid form of crude oil, right? Plastic is essentially a really long piece of crude oil. And when we apply heat, break it down without oxygen, that long piece of crude oil that's plastic breaks down into a smaller piece of crude oil, vapors, okay? And what's a smaller piece of crude oil? Those are our liquids. That's natural gas. That is crude oil. It's like when you take a piece of ice, you melt the ice into water, the water turns into steam, right? It's a similar process. So it becomes a crude oil vapor. The plastic breaks down into a crude oil vapor. That crude oil vapor is hot, so it travels up these pipes, right? Reaches what we call a condenser. The condenser is this thing that's on this angle at this slant. And what a condenser does is it cools down that vapor and condenses it. So going back to the water analogy, you take water, a piece of ice, break it down into water, then break it down into steam. That steam goes up, and then it goes in the clouds, and then it rains and forms water again. We're kind of doing the same thing. So the crude oil vapor hits the condenser. The crude oil vapor condenses back into crude oil. Okay? And then we can collect crude oil down at the bottom of the machine. And then some of it never condenses and stays a vapor, and that's a natural gas. So we basically are reverse engineering plastic. Plastic comes from crude oil. It is made of crude oil. It's a byproduct of crude oil. We are reverse engineering it back into crude oil because through that, now we have essentially a battery. Okay? Because yes, you could burn plastic and get energy out of it. That's true, because a lot of people are like, oh, you might as well just burn it. But you know what you can't do with plastic? You can't take a plastic bottle, put it in a gas container, leave it there for a month, pour it in your car a month later, and run your car. The liquid forms of fuel are some of the best batteries ever. Gaseous forms of fuel are some of the best batteries ever, okay? If I burn a piece of plastic, I have to use all the energy that comes from it now, okay? But if I turn that plastic into gasoline, I don't have to use it now. I can use it later. I could use it, I could transport, I could put it in a car, take it somewhere else, power something else with it. That's why we use this stuff now in our world. You know, gaseous fuels, liquid fuels, because they're such amazing. They're the most efficient transfer of energy when you want to, you know, transport it somewhere else. That's why we do that over batteries. Okay, because batteries are so heavy, for example, right? It's just not worth it. Okay. So then you have this fuel, but this fuel, this crude oil we get out, well, it's crude oil. Crude oil is full of all types of toxins and things that you need to get rid of. So when you take crude oil from the ground, it's not passing any EPA test. You have to do this process called distillation, in particular, catalytic distillation to the crude oil, to then remove the toxins in it to make fuels that are EPA approved in this world. So through catalytic distillation, we can remove pretty much all the things that don't make the fuel good. And how do I know this? Well, I know this because, like I said, this is crude oil, and we make gasoline that we use in this world out of crude oil. So if we are already using processes to clean up crude oil, and I can just use the same for my crude oil, right? They already exist. So we use these processes to clean it up, catalytic distillation, to get all these toxins out. And now you have your gasoline, your diesel, your jet fuel. So that's pretty much it. And fun fact, the machine did not explode at all, okay? You may know it, you may not. But the machine did not explode at all. What exploded was my distiller. I got a half a gallon of crude oil from plastic waste, and I went to do what I just said. I went to refine my fuel into cleaner fuel, into gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and my distiller exploded. Okay, notice how the explosion's way back there. The machine's way up here. So the machine operates under vacuum. My distiller was supposed to operate under vacuum too, but unfortunately I did have my vacuum pump on. It blew up. It was a very simple mistake that could have easily been avoided. You said benzene. You can remove benzene through the catalytic distillation process. So essentially what you do is when you're distilling the plastic, crude oil, you have a catalyst in the middle of that distillation process. And it's going to catalytically react with benzene or whatever else you want it to react with in there. You know, you base your catalyst off of the toxins, and then you're good. It really isn't that complicated because it's already been studied. The technology already exists. It's what we use now to get rid of these things out of crude oil. How do you get your gasoline at the gas station that has low benzene in it? It wasn't always that way. They had to do exactly what I'm talking about. What's up, 100 people? You said, how my feet? Hey, my feet are doing pretty good. As you see, I'm on my feet again. The swelling's gone. It's just, you know, the skin's back. Now it's literally just a matter of, you know, getting my color back. That's about it. Hey, yeah, thanks, Frank. Much love to Frank. So, you know, some people, they look at pyrolysis of plastic waste and they think that you're polluting. But that's not true, because everything you get is captured. You know, of course, if you have an explosion, that's an exception, right? You're not having an explosion every day. You don't want an explosion. But when things are operating how they intend to operate, every single product is captured. It does not matter what's in that oil. We could have cancer itself, the physical form of cancer, the embodiments of cancer living in that oil. But unless I go out of my way to pour that oil into the environment, or breathe it in, or burn it the way it is, it's not being released anywhere. So here's the thing. We're taking plastic out of the environment that was making microplastics, which was ultimately giving everybody cancer at a micro scale, giving fetuses cancer at a micro scale. Taking it out the environment, we're condensing it into something that takes up way less space, that just needs to be cleaned up. Okay? It just needs to be cleaned up. And in the meantime, in between cleaning it, it's not making microplastics, it's not leaching anything, because you're controlling it. So there is no pollution from pyrolysis, because the process is 100% controlled. Everything you get, you capture. I capture my natural gas into tanks. I capture my oil into my collection reservoirs. I capture my carbon and I keep it in enclosed containers. Nothing is leached. Yes, the carbon may need to be cleaned up. The oil may need to be cleaned up. The natural gas may need to be cleaned up. I actually have it running through Catalyst already, so it doesn't really need to be cleaned up. But the point is, every single thing, nothing is just going out into the environment, right? This is not the same as an open fire. This is not the same as your typical company that has a whole bunch of waste that they just pour into the lakes or the waters. The waste of this process is the very value that we like out of it. The waste is the oil, is the carbon, is the natural gas, the things that you actually want the most. Those are the waste products, and those products, those very products, once cleaned up and refined properly, can be sold as genuine products. Carbon that we get out of this is carbon. It's carbon, period. It may have some oils in it that need to be processed, but it's still carbon. And you know what you can make it out of carbon? Diamonds, activated carbon, biochar. The list goes on forever. Concrete filler. Carbon is carbon. The natural gas we get out of this process, it's a flammable vapor. It may need to be cleaned up, but guess what? You clean it up and it's still a flammable vapor. The oils we get out are flammable oils, high calorific value, that run in engines. We ran them in engines, weed whackers, truck engines. Guess what? They may have things in them that need to be cleaned up, but you clean it up and it's still a flammable vapor that works in engines. So the point I'm trying to make is, there's work that needs to be done, without a doubt. But some people are in the mindset that just because there's work that needs to be done, that means that this is an impossibility. And it's not even close to that. If it was an impossibility, we would have never looked at crude oil from the ground that is full of all the dirtiest things in all of the earth. And then had the EPA right there saying, you can't emit this, you can't emit that. There's no way we would have looked at those two things and be like, let's make gas stations. Okay? There was no way we would do that. Because there's a way to do everything. That's something about chemistry. Everything can be reduced into something else ultimately. That's just how it is, because everything is just different things bonded together. You have sulfur dioxide, well, let's get the sulfur out of that and leave the oxygen somewhere else. You have benzene, let's convert it to benzoic acid. You know what I'm saying? Everything can be converted to something. Did you guys know that you can convert benzene into something that is so safe that you can actually eat it? A part of food. I forgot what is it called. It's some type of it's almost like a salt or something. It's not a topping they use for food, but it's all about the conversion, right? It's all about the certain things. It's like how sodium, right? What is it? Sodium is very dangerous. Salt is dangerous, but when you have the specific the specific types of molecules put together, you know, the NaCl or chloride, for example. But you could have table salt, right? If you have chloride on its own, dangerous. You could have table salt, just NaCl with the chloride in it, and it's safe. So it's all about converting things properly. You can make values out of everything. Benzoic acid, yeah, that's what it is, benzoic acid. So it's different combinations of a million things to make something work and make something not work. And on top of that, you also got to remember this too, right? I always say this, right? Yeah, exactly. You said H2O is safe, but H2O2 is deadly. Exactly. So you also got to remember this too, guys. Yes, my fuel that I make here is carcinogenic, but so is every fuel in the world, including biodiesel. Go drink some gasoline. I don't care if it's EPA approved. It still will give you cancer. Go drink some diesel. You're not meant to drink it. Engines are meant to drink it, okay? So it's all about, after the fuel is burned, what comes out of that end. Okay, that's what it's all about. The exhaust. What comes out the exhaust after the catalytic converter? Because no matter what you do, fuel will always be carcinogenic. Look up any fuel in the world. You cannot breathe it in. You cannot go huffing puffing it. You cannot drink it. That's period. No matter what the fuel is. So that's a poor argument. Because no matter what the fuel is, it will always be carcinogenic. They're not meant for us to consume. They're meant for engines. So nonetheless, that's why I'm not worried about those things. The truth is, I do need to get my stuff analyzed. And I do plan to do that once I get the machine completed. Right? But no matter what comes out of the analysis, I'm not worried. Because I know that there's a solution. And that's just how chemistry works. And I know that in the solution, we will find other great things. So in the solution, in solving one problem, we're going to make more value of something else. Let me figure out that the biggest pollutant product in my fuels can be converted into something that makes even more money, right? It's all about understanding what you have, because all the solutions are already out there. You know, there's as humans, we've been doing chemistry forever. So pretty much every element on Earth, we have a way of dealing with it. I mean, if we're over here working with uranium and stuff, things that we know are super dangerous, yet we still make it work. We can work on anything that's in this fuel. I think it's all about just having the passion to be like, you know what? There's plastic everywhere. It's destroying our Earth. It's destroying us. It's destroying future generations. I don't care how hard it's going to be to figure out a proper solution, a safe solution. I'm going to figure it out. Just having that determination to be like, we haven't had another solution. You guys saying that we can't do pyrolysis will give me another alternative to getting rid of plastic waste. Give me another alternative other than waste to energy. Because I have yet to see one. I've yet to see one that works and has been implemented that works effectively, right? Okay. Waste to energy is the thing that makes the most sense, because no matter how you put it, if you bring me 50 pounds of plastic and I give you 5 gallons of gasoline, you're going to do that way quicker than if you gave me 50 pounds of plastic and I gave you 50 pounds of plastic back. You're like, what the hell? I don't care about plastic. I want some gasoline. It's $5 a gallon at the pump, but you give it to me for $4, I'll take that. We got to bring value, and energy has been something that we and everything in the whole universe has always appreciated the value of energy. Okay? So that's the ultimate goal. There's no problem that we can't find a solution to, and I am so determined to get rid of plastic that I don't care how hard it is. I will keep going. I will keep swirling down the path. Problem until I get to the solution. I really don't care. I'm learning just as much as we are all learning. I'm doing this in my backyard. No formal education in chemistry. No degree in chemistry. But I have a determination, an enthusiasm, a passion. And that's all that really matters, as long as you're doing it safely, right? I learned that. I almost got turned completely white. But that's all that matters ultimately. You have the passion, you make it work. Because anything can be worked, right? With the right mindset and perspective, right? So that's why I'm going slow too. Because I mean, look, I had this explosion, 10-foot tall fire, learned a valuable lesson. Imagine if this machine was 10 times bigger. I would have died. I would have died straight up, you know? Or I would have came out as Goku. It could have been one or the other, but I probably would have died. I would have came out as Black Ku, okay? That's all I'd be, just a pile of charred bones. So, I mean, I'm very grateful. And, you know, everything gets better as I scale up. I'm going to have, you know, a team too. That's important too. Got to incorporate more eyes on this stuff. If I had somebody else here working with me, they would have never let me run that distiller without the vacuum on. You said, I agree. The conversion rate of your plastic pyrolysis energy-wise might not be super good. But what else are we going to do with the ungodly amounts of plastic waste? That's true. And just because you're not making enough energy does not mean you're not making enough money. Because you're going to get paid for taking the plastic. You're going to get paid for making the carbon credits. You're going to get paid for selling the carbon. You're going to get paid for selling the fuels. You're going to get paid for the natural gas. So even if you're not making enough energy, it does not mean you're not making enough money. Energetic profit is not the same or not equitable to monetary profit, because if that was the case, then all the glass recycling companies in the world will be out of business. All the steel recycling companies in the world will be out of business. The value from a steel recycling company is not that you're making more energy or an equal amount of energy from that steel you recycle. It's the fact that you are taking this steel that is no longer needing to be used, making steel out of it that has enough value in the market to make up for the cost of operating to make it. And I'm proposing that through microwave pyrolysis on a continuous level at an industrial scale, with the proper things in place, we can create enough value from all the products and getting rid of plastic to make the machine, at the very least, monetarily profitable. Now, I would love to make it energetically profitable, okay? I would love to be able to run the machine off of its own products. But that may not be possible. But it may also be possible. We'll figure that out. Something that has been consistent is these machines, especially considering they've been made in the backyard, handmade, have had a pretty good energy conversion. Potential energy speaking, that is. Of course, once you convert that energy into electricity, you're going to lose about half of it. So, you know, all these things considered, that can't be the only focus. I think what we need to remember, this is a recycling plant, not a generator, right? This is not meant to generate energy. This is meant to recycle plastic, and that's what it does. And that's what it's been doing. So that's what we're going to continue to do. And like I said, we got even bigger things on the way. There's one thing about me, guys. I don't think we even have anybody in this chat that was here from when I had my lab fire. I took a year break. I came back even stronger. One thing that's been consistent with me my whole entire life is that when I'm gone, I have a little setback. I come back crazy. So I'm just telling you guys now. All right, I'm warning you now to pay attention, because you're going to blink. It's going to be like 1 month. And then everything's going to be on a whole different level. It's going to be 1 month. And we're going to have the whole world back in this thing. It's going to be very quick, okay? That's just how it is. Because I move very quick. All right? It's going to be 1 month. And we be in here. And these chats are like just going infinite. You can't even read the comments. There's too many people in here. Just saying, just wait. We're going crazy. The collaborations are going to be crazy. All the opportunities are going to be crazy, okay? Because we had this setback. We're coming back even stronger. I got a new perspective on safety, a new perspective on how to do this stuff. I'm going to get my stuff tested in the lab, all the products. It's going to be absolutely crazy, I'm telling you guys now. So I appreciate all your support through all of this time. And so my fire, I had a lab fire a year ago with my Mark IV machine. This machine... obviously that was an explosion, fire, whatever you want to have. But pretty much all my machines, I've had some type of incident happen, okay? So I had a fire happen last year that almost burned down my house. I took a break for a year. I was gone for a year. Came back, built Mark 4.5, you know what I'm saying, went crazy. Obviously had the explosion happen, put me down for 2.5 weeks. But I'm coming back now. Gotta get the machine moved. That's the only reason that's stopping me now. Look, if this machine was where it needed to be, I'd be running it again today. But I got, it's a lot of stuff. You can't just, unfortunately, you can't just get up and move. You gotta do all this paper stuff. You gotta wait, closing, and all this mess. You gotta put it in the shipping container. Then you have to modify the shipping container to make it safe. Have the right airflow, the right fire suppressant things. Make sure the shipping container doesn't blow up. Because with it being in a confined space, if this shipping container blows up, it's gonna blow up. You too. And you ain't gonna run out like I ran out last time, right? So obviously, a lot of safety measures need to be put in place. But they will be put in place. And it's going to be way better there. It's going to open up doors for a lot because, like I said, it'll be mobile. I could go around the whole U.S. if I want to. I could tour the whole U.S. with the machine on a truck if I wanted to. So it's gonna be amazing. And I got some grant money on the way too. So once again, I want to thank you guys very much for all your support. Much love to every single one of you. And just stay tuned, because I always said 2024 was going to be a big year. I didn't even know it was going to be this big. As big as you're about to see it's going to be. So stay tuned, everybody. Much love to you. Thank you. And I'll see you guys next live stream.